Hello and welcome to another edition of L.I.F.T Tutoring. I know that a lot of you parents are just starting with the homeschooling and the remote learning and the virtual learning, and I want you to know that you can do it. You can make it. You will get through this. It is okay. And in the meantime, I'm going to be creating videos so that you can at least have a little respite from your children during this time, because I've already seen some of the memes online and I find them pretty funny. Anyway, we're gonna jump right into it today. My class, you know who you are. For privacy's sake, I can't say where I teach, but my class, you know who you are. I really miss you guys. I love seeing you guys today on the virtual learning, on the remote learning, and looking forward to the next one. But in the meantime, we're gonna read a book that I really have been wanting to read to you guys the whole year, and it's basically about appreciating what you have, and also, you know, you'll see. So when we're reading this book together, friends, I want you to think about when we get to the end of the book, I want you really to be able to tell your parents what happened in the beginning, what happened in the middle, and what happened at the end. Okay, we're going to work on our comprehension. So this book is called Those Shoes. Wonder what that's about. It's written by Mary Beth Boltz. She's the author, and you can tell your parents, what does the author do, friends? Right, they write the book. And it's illustrated by Noah Z. Jones. And the illustrator does what? Draws the pictures. Good job, okay? All right, Those Shoes. Zoom in here a little bit. Okay, here we go. I have dreams about those shoes, black high tops, 2 white stripes. Grandma, I want them. There's no room for want around here, just need. Grandma says, and what you need are new boots for the winter. Friends, have you ever wanted something but you actually needed to get something else? Like, have you ever wanted a new toy, but you knew you needed a new shirt? It's a little frustrating, I know. Brandon T comes to school in those shoes. He says he's the fastest runner now. Not me. I was always the fastest before those shoes came along. Nate comes to school in those shoes. Antonio and I count how many times Nate goes to the bathroom. 7 times in one day. That's some of you. I know, because I teach you. Just so he can walk up and down the hall real slow to show them off. Next, Alan, Jacoby, and Terrence each get a pair. Then one day, in the middle of kickball, one of my shoes comes apart. Looks like you could use a new pair, Jeremy, Mr. Alfred, the guidance counselor, says. He brings out a box of shoes and other stuff he has for kids who need things. He helps me find the only shoes that are my size, Velcro, like the ones my little cousin Marshall wears. They have an animal on them from a cartoon I don't think any kid has ever watched. When I come back to the classroom, Alan Jacoby takes one look at my Mr. Alfred shoes and laughs. And so do Terrence, Brandon T, and everyone else. The only kid not laughing is Antonio Parker. At home, Grandma says, how kind of Mr. Alfred. I nod and turn my back. I'm not gonna cry about any dumb shoes. We don't use that word in the past. But when I'm writing my spelling words later, every word looks like the word shoes. And my grip is so tight on my pencil, I think it might burst. On Saturday, Grandma says, let's check out those shoes you're wanting so much. I got a little bit of money set aside. Might be enough. You never know. At the shoe store, Grandma turns those shoes over so she can check the price. When she sees it, she sits down heavy. Maybe they wrote it down wrong, I say. Grandma shakes her head. Then I remember the thrift shops. What if there's another kid who outgrew his or got 2 pairs for Christmas and had to give one of them away? We ride the bus to the first thrift shop. Black cowboy boots, pink slippers, sandals, high heels, every kind of shoes except the ones that I want. We ride the bus to the second thrift shop. Not a pair of those shoes in sight. Around the corner is the third thrift shop. I see something in the window. Friends, what do you think he sees? Maybe. Black shoes with 2 white stripes, high tops, perfect shape, $2.50. Those shoes. My heart is pounding as hard as I take off so hard as I take off my shoes and hitch up my baggy socks. How exciting, Grandma says. What size are they? I shoved my foot into the first shoe, curling my toes to get my heel in. I don't know, but I think they fit. Grandma kneels on the floor and feels for my toes at the end of the shoe. Oh, Jeremy, she says, I can't spend good money on shoes that don't fit. I pull the other shoe on and try to walk around. They're okay, I say, holding my breath and praying that my toes will fall right off and then and there. But my toes didn't fall off. I buy them anyway, with my own money, and I squeeze them on and limp to the bus stop. At home, a few days later, Grandma puts a new pair of snow boots in my closet and doesn't say a word about my 2 big feet shuffling around in my 2 small shoes. Sometimes shoes stretch, I say. Grandma gives me a hug. I check every day, but those shoes don't stretch. I have to wear my Mr. Alfred's to school instead. One day during math, I glance at Antonio's shoes. One of them's taped up, and his feet look smaller than mine. After school, I head to the park to think. Antonio's there, the only kid who didn't laugh at Mr. Alfred's shoes. I'm gonna make a prediction. I think that Jeremy is going to be kind. We shoot baskets. A loose piece of tape on Antonio's shoes smacks the concrete every time he jumps. I think I'm not going to do it. We leap off the swings. I'm not going to do it. We race from one end of the playground to the other. I'm not going to do it! I say. Do what? Antonio says, breathing hard. Grandma calls me for supper and invites Antonio over too. After supper, he spies my shoes. How come you don't wear them? Antonio asks. I shrug. My hands are sweaty. I can feel him wishing those shoes were his. That night, I'm awake for a long time thinking about Antonio. When morning comes, I try on my shoes one last time. Before I can change my mind, the shoes are in my coat. The snow is beginning to fall as I run across the street to Antonio's apartment. I put the shoes in front of his door, push the doorbell, and run. At school, Antonio's smiling in his brand new shoes. I feel happy when I look at his face and mad when I look at my Mr. Alfred shoes. But later, when it's time for recess, something happens. Everywhere there's snow. Leave your shoes in the hall and change into your boots, the teacher announces. Leave your shoes in the hall. It's then that I remember what I have in my backpack. New boots. New black boots that no kid has ever worn before. Standing in line to go to recess, Antonio leans forward and says, "Thanks." I smile and I give him a nudge. Let's race. The end. So remember, friends, you can go back and watch it again. I want you to tell me what you remember from the book, what happened from the beginning, the middle, and the end. You can write it down, or you can talk about it with a friend, or a brother and sister, or a cousin, or your parents. But I want you to be able to say what happened from the beginning, the middle, and end. Because remember, we don't just read books just to read books. We read books so we can remember them, so we can tell other people the great stories that we read. Be awesome, chase your infinity, and I'll catch you in the next video. Like and subscribe!